Hi, I'm James. I'm a foot and ankle specialist, and I've been providing advice to patients for over 10 years on the best running shoes if you're beginning running or if you're returning to running again. Whether it's 5k, 10k up to marathon distance, I've chosen shoes that will cover all of these, and I'll break down the specifications, the fit, the performance, and what you feel underfoot so you have a better idea of which shoe will work best for you. We purchase all of the shoes independently, so buying through the links in the description really helps fund the channel without affecting the price that you pay. However, if you just like, share and subscribe the video if you find it helpful, that makes a huge difference to us as a channel. We'll begin with the Brooks Glycerin 21, which is one of the most popular shoes in the Brooks range. It's a relatively soft cushioning underneath, so what you'll feel is when you initiate contact with the ground, whether that's on your heel or your midfoot, you'll sink into it a little bit more than some other shoes, so it's a little bit of a softer feel, so it really feels like you're running on a cloud. It gives you a little bit more energy return when you try and push back out of it in the propulsion phase of the gait cycle, but its primary focus is comfort. If you're looking for a similar model in the Brooks range, then you've got the Go 16, which is a little bit firmer and a little bit faster of a shoe, whereas the Glycerin 21 really focuses on comfort. On top of the shoe, you've got a plush mesh on top, you've got a relatively wide toe box, so you've got plenty of space for your toes to splay, and for those of you with a wider foot, they come in an extra wide version as well. So if you're a beginner runner, this is an excellent shoe for easy runs, longer runs, not so good for up-tempo, race pace or faster work. Then, in contrast to that, we've got the Hoka Clifton 9. So this is more of a workhorse of a shoe. So it's a classic neutral shoe similar to the Glycerin 21. However, in the CMEVA cushioning of the Hoka range, you apply pressure to it and it really pushes you back out quickly. So it's a more responsive shoe than what you get in the Glycerin. It's a workhorse of a shoe, so it's designed to tolerate huge amounts of mileage without breaking down. So it's got excellent durability underneath. It's got some elements of stability due to the high stack in the shoe. So stack is the amount of cushioning under your foot. So it's got a nice broad platform and it's got some sidewalls on the inside and the outside of the shoe. These come up, cradle your foot, helps control pronation forces on top of the shoe. So it's what we classify as a stable neutral shoe. It's flat bed underneath. It's a more responsive shoe than the Glycerin, and it's an excellent shoe for up-tempo, long distance, daily runs. Not a race pace shoe, but it can be used for racing in, excellent for 5, 10 and marathon distance running, so an excellent all-rounder of a shoe. A bit more plush and cushion than that in terms of max cushioning is the Asics Gel Nimbus 26. This is an excellent shoe if you want a really soft shoe, if you're new to running, if you're a heavier runner and you want a bit more padding underneath your foot, this is an excellent option. It's got 41.5 millimeters of cushioning in the rear foot, so loads of padding if you want to initiate contact with your heel. It's got a nice broad forefoot to give you plenty of contact with the ground. Got some sidewalls to compensate for the amount of cushioning. It's important to keep note of if you have more cushioning in the shoe, it can make the shoe a little bit more unstable. Therefore, they add elements of stability. So if you've got a history of issues with peroneal tendonitis, posterior tibial tendonitis, having a really soft max cushion shoe may not be ideal for you, as it makes the shoe a little bit more unstable and challenges those tendons a little bit more. This is an excellent shoe if you're looking for easy runs, recovery runs or long runs. Again, not so good for faster runs. It's a little bit heavier than some of the other models that we'll talk about. Then if you're looking for a more stable shoe that's quite responsive, you've got the Hoka Arahi 7. So it also has the CMEVA cushioning, very similar to what you get in the Clifton 9. However, it has a J-frame built into it, so along the bottom of the shoe and all the way up the inside, all the way up to your big toe, is a more denser foam that's harder to compress. So when your foot moves inward, so when it pronates, if it pronates excessively, it helps to control that motion as the cushioning doesn't compress as easily, and it helps to push your foot back out again. It's not intrusive, so you don't feel it pushing up into your foot like you might do in other models like the Asics Gel 31 or the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 24. So it's a mild to moderate stability shoe that's quite responsive. This can be used for up-tempo, fartlek, long distance running. It's an all-rounder, bit of a workhorse like the Clifton 9, but has more elements of stability to it. Then we've got the Asics Novablast 5. So this is one of the most durable shoes on the market. We've clocked up 50 to 60k in it, and it looks brand new underneath. So it's got excellent durability. They've upgraded the cushioning in this from the Novablast 4, so it's got the FF Blast Max cushioning. So the previous model used to slap down a little bit. It could be a little bit challenging on your shins and maybe more likely to cause shin splints. They've changed the cushioning in this, so it's a little bit softer than the previous model, and we think they've rectified it, so they've done a great job with that. It's a very responsive shoe, so when you sink into it, it helps to push you back out again. So it's a good shoe for race pace running, up tempo, and for fartlek work. It's got plenty of space in the toe box. It's only recently new out, so it hasn't got a wide version yet, but the previous model did, so I'm sure it's to come. It's got a nice comfortable lockdown on top, and an excellent all-rounder if you're looking for a durable shoe that covers every type of running. Then finally, we've got a more affordable option, which is the Asics Gel-Pulse 15. So it's got flight foam cushioning in the soles, different than the FF Blast cushioning that you typically get in the Nimbus or in the Asics Gel Cumulus. So it's a more of a hard end feel. So it's a firm shoe. It helps push you back out again. It doesn't have as much energy return as what you get in some of the other shoes, and that's typically what you pay the higher price for. But it comes in around $100 or slightly less. It's got a nice upper mesh on top, a relatively broad base of support underneath, and if you're looking for an entry-level shoe, you're unsure if you're going to enjoy running or not, and you just want to take it up, this can be an excellent option for you. There's a link for it in the description below, like the other 5 shoes. So we've got 6 contrasting shoes here, some of them that are more focused on cushioning and comfort, some that are a bit more responsive, so for faster running, and we've got some shoes with elements of stability, so stable neutral or a classic neutral shoe like you get in the Arahi 7. If you've got any questions on these shoes or on any of the shoes that you have at the moment, please leave in the comment section. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, like and share and subscribing to the channel makes a big difference to us, and thank you very much for watching.